The Democrats. All right. There are four buckets of potential leaders for the party. And I think everybody, except maybe James Carter, are leaders. There's the formal congressional leadership. There's backbenchers with big megaphones and aspirations. There's other people like governors and formers and maybe business leaders in the states. And then there's people who want to run for president in 2028 or might want to run for president in 2028. I think that in the last a few days, we've seen a lot of tension over tactics and strategy, but agreement on, I think, pretty solid agreement about what the message should be. So let's look at a couple pieces of tape and then you guys talk about it. First, here's Chuck Schumer on a program they call Morning Joe, giving the Democratic message that I think, again, almost every Democrat I know agrees is the right message. Please roll Schumer on Morning Joe.
You have others saying the same, that it's just time for a new generation of leadership. Yeah. What's your response to that?
I knew there'd be flack, but I think that the Democrats, we Democrats in the Senate are really united. We respect that there were different views. We know that. And we are fighting on all of the fronts to go after Trump, not have a circular firing squad, which Democrats tend to do, particularly when there's such an enemy as Trump. Mm-hmm. So that the basic premise that we are going after him on, and Hakeem and I are working on this very closely together. We don't live too far away from each other. We met in Brooklyn on Sunday, is that Trump is taking things away from the middle class, from you, to pay for tax cuts for the rich. And we have so many different areas to go after him on. And we're already bringing his numbers down. We'll keep bringing them down more and more and more. If, 6 months from now, his numbers are really low, he'll have not only less popularity, he'll have less authority. That's our job, and we're doing it. And there are going to be some bigger issues where we're going to make a stand as well. You got to do it in a smart way and not let him drive you into a trap and let your anger at him end up hurting you.
Sean, I'm old enough to remember that when a Republican said that their strategy was not to help the American people, but to drive the president's numbers down, that was a controversy. Nobody seems to mind.
That was Mr. Mitch McConnell that said that.
Yeah. No, it was Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, and McConnell
said it. Yeah,
he said, I'm going to make number one president.
Yeah, that's right. But McCarthy said drive numbers down. Just let me frame it up here. Is Schumer on the right message? And we had the first House member call for him to resign yesterday. But is Schumer talking like that? If he can sustain that, has he solved the problem of people being angry at him or not?
No. The one thing about crises is that there's an arc, and he's on the back end of it, right? So he either has to wait it out and hope that it goes away in 72 hours.
Wait, he's on the back end or the front end?
Back end. In other words, the wave is crested. He's already screwed. So when you're riding it, the question is, are you over the top of that arc or not? I mean, last night in Axios, this was to me so emasculating. It said that the Democrat grassroots are giving Senator Schumer a pip. I mean, this is if anyone's working at a big corporation, it's called a performance improvement program. Like you're a junior associate, where they say, okay, you need to start coming in by 9 a.m. and be at your desk by 9:05. I mean, it's embarrassing what's happening to him. And then he puts out a statement and says, what was the thing? That I am the sort of orchestra leader, and I have a lot of talent in that orchestra. That was his response. The guy is so far gone. I said it at the beginning of the week. I tweeted out last night. I think this is the beginning of the end for Chuck Schumer.
Dan, is Sean right, or has Schumer got the proverbial monkey donkey off his back?
He definitely doesn't have it off his back. I think Schumer is saying the right thing. The problem is he's been saying that now for about a month, but he doesn't do it. And that's where they kind of had it. So to Sean's point, the interest groups are now embedding themselves in his operation. I mean, we joked back in January that the Senate Leadership Council was like a UN of, half the caucus. Well, one of the things that he announced was he's adding more senators to the Leadership Council. So I think we're now more than half of them are in leadership. And he's bringing all the interest groups in to sit at the table. I think that the question, I think, really for Schumer and Mark, Sean and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I heard from someone who was watching the show who said it's very true. And that is Schumer following the course of Mitch McConnell, which is the party changed around him and McConnell never changed, right? Schumer was able to bridge the Clinton to Obama eras. I think we are now going into a new era where the party it's younger, it wants to get more aggressive, more nimble, confront Trump more. And Schumer is from that kind of old school, Wall Street Democrat Clinton era. It's just not in his wheelhouse. And I think he's saying the right thing, but the base is like, just do it.
Yeah, he's done. I mean, his time has come. And the problem is, as I said yesterday, it's not that I think a lot of people might agree that that wasn't the hill to die on Friday night, right? But the problem was that he led him to that hill in the first place. Yep. And then said, hey, I'm out.
Sean, this is a serious, respectful question. Sometimes you and other people in the Republican Party and the Democrats do the same thing, will say on programs like this, I'm no expert on the other party, so, I can't really say. Do you really feel you understand the dynamics well enough to be so confident that Schumer's done, given that it's the other party?
Yeah, and the reason I say that is that, like, when you see the emasculating, like the groups from all sides, as Dan put out, I mean, these guys demanding seats at the table, him acquiescing at a certain point, like, you either are tough and strong at a position or you exhibit weakness. He canceled the book tour. He's caving to everything that they want. I mean, this isn't about the party. This is purely about what a leader does. And so it doesn't matter if it's the head of a corporation or the head of a Senate caucus. He's looking weak. He's showing signs of fecklessness. And that's when people say they strike. And you can rarely come back from those instances. When a leader shows weakness and fails to lead in the face of a crisis, that's when people lose confidence in them. He's lost the confidence of the grassroots. And I don't see how you get it back when you fundamentally don't understand the new dynamics in the new political environment. So it's not a question of whether I understand the party or not. It's whether or not he can continue to be a leader. And the answer, in my opinion, is absolutely not.
Mark, I think, though, look, I don't think Schumer's going anywhere in the next 18 months. And he probably, unless there's like a total wipeout in 26, probably survives. The way McConnell began to get chipped away at, when more and more senators came in that were Trump senators, not kind of Reagan McConnell senators, he slowly was just losing altitude, and there was no way for him to kind of reverse that. I am beginning to wonder if Schumer will just kind of ride it on the back end here, but can he really be seen as the leader of whatever the future of the Democratic Party is? I think there is increasing questions about that. And I think it may go to the next topic about what some of these other governors are showing.
So let's get to that.
Can I just put a pin in this real quick? Because it's not like all I'm doing is reading tea leaves. When Nancy Pelosi publicly throws you under the bus, when Elizabeth Warren says he's not the leader anymore, that tells you that's not me, that's them. I'm just reading Did
Elizabeth Warren say John Schumer's not the leader anymore?
She said something
she wouldn't support him.
She wouldn't support him.
I missed that.
Yeah, at a town hall in Massachusetts.
Yeah, she at a town hall. She was asked, "Do you support Schumer?" And she said, "No."
No, I missed that. That was not a big story here in Europe.
What?
Yeah.